guys. In today's video, we're going to discuss whether or not weather is being controlled and has governments sought out to control it in the past, and are they doing it today? Oh, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe so we can get this thing rolling, guys. So today's first article we're going to talk about is a CNN.com. Deadly Helene swamps the southeast with life-threatening floods, guys. So as you guys know, in a lot of videos and a lot of news has been coming out recently in the past few years, it's like weather is getting more intense, right? And I wonder why that is, right? Is it man-made climate change? Could it be because of just climate change in general? The earth is like trying to get rid of humans. It's definitely a real question to be asked. So that's in today's video. We're going to talk about weather, right? And so the first article after the CNN.com wanted to read this headline: Deadly Helene swamps the southeast with life-threatening flood. Of course, that's no bueno. So we're going to go over to the next article right now. And we're going to, let's see here. All right. So weather control as a Cold War weapon. So guys, as you guys know, and a lot of people have heard and theorized in other podcasts and stuff like that, everyone's always wondered, is the weather controlled, right? And you hear about city-states like Qatar controlling the weather. You've heard conspiracy theories, about the United States controlling the weather. But I truly believe that a lot of theories and stuff like that actually have some substance to them. So in this article, it's an older article, but still relevant. So it was by the Smithsonian Mag.com. Weather control as a Cold War weapon, guys. Okay, that's powerful. All right, it says, in the 1950s, some U.S. scientists warned that without immediate action, the Soviet Union would control the Earth's thermometers. Okay, meaning they were in control of the climate, right? And then you have a bunch of propaganda, right here. And then this article essentially goes into more detail. But where I'm wanting to show you guys is that right here, after the experiments of GE's research laboratory, there was a feeling that humanity might finally be able to control one of the greatest variables of life on Earth. And as a Cold War tension heightened, weather control was seen by the United States as a potential weapon that could be even more devastating than nuclear warfare. Okay, that just sounds fine and dandy, doesn't it? Sounds really nice for humanity and, the planet. So this article by Smithsonian Magazine goes on to further detail and essentially says, in August of 1953, the United States formed the President's Advisory Committee on Weather Control. Let me pause that right here. You read that again. In August of 1953, the United States formed the President's Advisory Committee on Weather Control, guys. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't some tinfoil hat stuff, guys. They actually control the weather. Or at least try to in the 1950s. So I digress. So now we're going to go ahead and read more of this article. As stated, purpose was to determine the effectiveness of weather modification procedures and the extent to which the government should engage in such activities. Methods that were envisioned by both American and Soviet scientists and openly discussed in the media during the mid-1950s included using colored pigments on the polar ice caps to melt them and unleash devastating floods, releasing large quantities of dust into the stratosphere, creating precipitation on demand, and even building a dam fitted with thousands of nuclear-powered pumps across the Bering Strait. This dam, envisioned by a Russian engineer named Arkady Borisovich, would redirect the waters of the Pacific Ocean, which would theoretically raise temperatures in cities like New York and London. Markin stated, purpose was to relieve the severe cold of the northern hemisphere, but American scientists worried about such weather control as a means of causing flooding. Flooding. Okay, you see that, right? Now let's pan back over. You see this, right? All right. So, this is in the 1950s, guys, okay? Now, they've had, decades to perfect this. Think about it like this. The military-industrial complex has spent billions and billions of dollars through decades. Black budget projects, contractors, companies that contract the work out for research and stuff like that, which I'll get to in a minute in the video. But, guys, this is insane here, right? So in the 50s, they were already talking about it, or possibly even doing it. That was 1952, 1953. So that means that essentially they were already, really trying to do this stuff, guys. And who knows? They had the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s to harness this stuff, guys. Has it ever dawned upon you guys that there's a reason why the weather is like getting exponential? It's pretty wild if you think about it. So, all right. And to validate my story some more, let's go to this next article. All right. This is from the Britannica.com. Okay. This was published, or last updated, August 6th of 2024. Okay. What is weather modification? Weather modification, let's read this together. Weather modification, the deliberate or the inadvertent alternation of atmospheric conditions by human activity, sufficient to modify the weather on a local or regional scale. Okay. Now you read that, right? Now, in this article, look, they're already talking about weather seeding over here to the right. Pretty wild. So, general considerations. Humans have long sought to purposefully alter such atmospheric phenomena as clouds, rain, snow, hail, lightning, thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, and cyclones. The modern era of scientific weather modification began in 1946 with the work of Vincent J. Shaffer and Irving Langmuir at the General Electric Research Laboratories in Schenectady, New York. Schaefer discovered that when the dry ice frozen carbon dioxide pellets were dropped into a cloud composed of water droplets in a deep freeze box, the droplets were rapidly replaced by ice crystals, which increased in size and then fell to the bottom of the box, meaning they were already performing these experiments, guys, okay? They were already performing these experiments. This is, without a doubt, a fact. So we're going to keep going here. Look, the Schaefer-Langmuir experiments in the laboratory and the atmosphere demonstrated that so-called supercooled clouds, namely those composed of water droplets at temperatures below freezing, could be dissipated. When the supercooled clouds were seeded with grains of dry ice, ice crystals formed and grew large enough to fall out of the clouds. So that sounds like a experiment, gone good. It looks like they succeeded in their experiment, proving they could do it. Certain substances other than dry ice can be used to seed clouds. So right here, they've already admitted, according to this article, Britannica.com, that they were already seeding clouds, admitting they could seed them. For example, when silver iodide and lead iodide are burned, they create a smoke of tiny particles. These particles produce ice crystals in supercooled clouds below temperatures of about -5 degrees Celsius. As the supercooled cloud droplets evaporate, the water vapor in the is then free to deposit into the silver iodide or lead iodide crystals. Although many other materials can cause ice crystals to form, the above mentioned are the most widely used. For the most part, dry ice is dispersed from airplanes, but silver iodide nuclei may be generated on the ground and carried upward by air currents introduced from airplanes or produced by pyrotechnic devices such as rockets or exploding artillery shells. Did you guys just hear that? They're saying that they can essentially seed the clouds, stimulate weather change with pyrotechnic devices such as rockets or exploding artillery shells or airplanes. So if you were already in doubt that this wasn't happening, or you think this is like a tinfoil hatty subject, guys, they're admitting to it right now. Okay, as I go on. All right. Let's see here. A wide variety of scientists test and operational weather modification projects have been performed in many countries. Right here, guys, they're already telling you in your face they were already doing the weather change. The largest programs have been in the United States, the former Soviet Union, Australia, and France. Let me repeat that. The largest weather programs have been in the United States, the former Soviet Union, Australia, and France. Okay? So for all you naysayers out there and non-believers, look, guys, they're doing something to the weather. Okay? Now, what I think, and I'll get to after I cover these articles, but right here, most weather modification programs in the United States have dealt with rain or snow, okay? So they're already telling you, like, most countries have already dealt with rain, they've dealt with snow. Although there is still considerable debate about the effectiveness of cloud seeding. That's a joke. They already do it. The evidence indicates that under certain meteorological conditions, ice nuclei seeding may increase precipitation by amounts ranging up to some tens of percent. In other circumstances, decreases may occur. In still others, seeding has no effect. So, all right, guys, look. And then we've established they were trying to do it in the 50s. They were doing it. They've had decades to perfect it. And in this article, Britannica.com, they pretty much told you guys that, hey, every country's pretty much doing it. Russia, America, France, Australia. Okay? In this article right here, look. Here's another article. So this is cwcb.colorado.gov. Okay? Colorado Water Conservative Board. Okay? So now they're telling you in your face again that they're pretty much doing it without telling you they're doing it. Weather modification program. Okay, you read that? Weather modification program. Okay. Now look. The Colorado Water Conservative Board, CWCB, administers Colorado's weather modification, WM, for weather modification program, which issues WM permits, monitors WM activities, and keeps the public informed about the state's WM activities. Colorado has conducted weather modification, operations, and research since the 1950s. And a program to permit weather modification has existed since the 1972. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that right there? Right here. Weather modification has existed since 1972. After the significant drought starting in the early 2000s, many new WM permits have been developed. Colorado is a strategic state with the headwaters of 8 major river basins, and downstream states are reliant on the snowpack and stream flow generated in Colorado. Okay. They tell you that they are doing the weather modification in Colorado. That's probably there's a lot of military bases out there, so I'm pretty sure that's probably where they're doing it. All right, guys. And my final article here for the day. What does that say, guys? February 7th, 1958. DARPA was founded. What is DARPA? Do you guys know what DARPA is? Have you guys ever heard of DARPA? So DARPA, so you guys don't really know, essentially, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, okay, is a research and development agency of the United States Department of Defense responsible for the development of emerging technologies for use by the military. Okay? Headquarters out of Arlington County, Virginia, according to, Google.com. So essentially, guys, these are the ones that, are controlling, from what I've seen and read before, these are the ones that are really doing it, guys. They're probably the mother agency, and they're probably subbing out a bunch of the work to different states and different contracting groups and different, parts of the United States. But look, I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys? After reading these articles right here, look at this. On this article right here, Smithsonian.com, they've admitted since they've been doing it since the 50s, guys. They've been doing it since the 50s. They've been trying to do it since the 50s, right? Both methods envisioned by both American scientists and Soviets since the mid-1950s. They've been trying to do weather control, guys. And then you come over here to the Britannica.com. They flat out tell you, guys. They flat out tell you, look, we've been doing it. They've been doing it, guys. They've been doing it for a while, a long, long time, guys. Look at this right here. This is the key sentence in the entire article. Look at this. For most part, dry ice is dispersed from airplanes, but silver iodide nuclei may be generated on ground and carried upward by air currents introduced from airplanes, meaning people, or produced by pyrotechnic devices such as rockets or exploding artillery shells. They're telling you in your face, guys, that they're doing it. They've been doing it for a long, long, long time. Okay, guys? And then look, right here, same thing. They've been doing it since 1972. On record. Okay? On record. Probably way before that, as you see. Look, research since 1950s. Weather modification operations and research since the 1950s. Come on. Are you still in denial that they're controlling the weather, guys? Come on. And then, obviously, look. When was this company founded? February 7th, 1958. May I say more, guys? Look, if you're new to the channel, guys, look, give me a follow, subscribe if you haven't already, please. Helps the channel a lot. I'm growing my channel. I bring news and fun topics like this every single day for you guys. So, look, if you're wanting to learn a bunch about cool topics, and you're wanting to essentially open your thought process to a lot of things, and be informed and be entertained most of all, subscribe to my channel, guys. I'd appreciate it. And at the end of the day, guys, we're all here to learn. We're all here to try to, essentially be entertained, guys. Hey, the entire world is full of information, and it's up to you and me and everybody else to come together and learn these different topics, guys. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. I appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And like I said, I pump out content every single day, whether it's like news, conspiracy theories, or cool topics like this. So I'd appreciate it, guys. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. All right. Peace out.